Hey everybody, it's Trish here. Hey, I'm excited because I've got more data analyses fun using large language models for you today. So meet Claude. Claude is a brand new large language model that was just released today on July 11th of 2023. And Claude is a model that comes from a company named Anthropic. So cool thing about Anthropic is that Anthropic has had financial investment from Google, and Anthropic was actually started by some engineers that actually left OpenAI. OpenAI is the company behind ChatGPT. So it was engineers that left OpenAI and actually started Anthropic. They're the founders of Anthropic, got some funding from Google, and they have just released Claude to the public, at least here in the United States and also in the United Kingdom and the UK. And so, what I want to do today is I want to run a similar experiment on Claude as what I did with ChatGPT's GPT-4 model using the Code Interpreter plugin in order to perform statistical analysis on student test scores post training. So, wanted to be able to see in my previous video, did students learn anything new during a training workshop? What does the data show? Are they likely to have retained anything over a period of time after the training workshop? So we're going to go ahead and run similar here with Claude. So what I'm going to do is the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to upload a file so you can see natively in Claude. We've got an attachment button here. I'm going to go ahead and attach a CSV file. This is the same data file that I used with ChatGPT just the other day. I always greet the large language models, just in case the AI overlords. I always say hello and please and thank you. And I'm going to ask it, what can you tell me about um, student test scores in this file? Okay, so hi, what can you tell me about student test scores in this file? I'm going to go ahead and enter, and let's see what it is that Claude comes back with here. Very nice. So it's telling us there are 100 students. That's correct. That the test scores were tracked over 3 different points in time: pre-test scores, post-test scores, and test scores 30 days again after the workshop. It gives us a range of what the scores are. And then it starts actually conducting these analyses. Wow, this is like really impressive. So, okay, so it's talking about that there's a drop in scores from the post-test to the 30 days after. So post-test scores would have been immediately following the training workshop, and then 30 days later we went ahead and measured again. We administered the exact same test again, and scores dropped. So then there's some analyses here on some specific students. Now, there aren't any student names in this file. All of this, the file is anonymized. There's no personally identifying information other than by a student number, by a unique identifier by a number. So that's what it's picking up on here. So it's also telling us, that there's variability in what's happening with the different students, and that we can get a sense of better overall trends if we run some more analyses on that. So this is really interesting. So let's see. So can you run statistical analyses on this data so we can learn more? And you just talk to these models just in plain English. You just ask them, like, what are they capable of doing? And they're going to come back and tell you. So, and in this particular case, it looks like it's actually running some statistical analyses for us. So this is terrific. Okay, so it's telling us the mean and the median for each of the different points in time in which we measured. It's looking for correlation. It's clustering students into groups. 3 different clusters. So high improvers, moderate improvers, and low starters. Interesting. There are some analyses. Let's see. There are some more analyses that can provide more insights into the student test data. Let me know if you'd like to explain more or further detail. Yes, please. Did students likely gain new knowledge? All right. So we want to know, did they likely gain new knowledge? And you can see, wow, I didn't even tell it what types of statistical analyses or which method to use. It's automatically applying the methods in order to answer the question in natural English. Okay. And then it's giving us summarized results. So while the scores dropped from post-test to 30 days later, indicating some forgetting or need for reinforcement, the significant gains from pre-test to post-test provide evidence that students likely gained new knowledge during that time period. And you can see in the analyses above that it actually had statistical significance in those gains, right? So meaning that it's likely not just random chance that the test scores improved between pre and post. Um, but the problem is that they're not retaining it. So this is really awesome. So the workshop training they received was probably effective for building knowledge, at least in the short term. So how can I help with long term retention and application? How might I boost learning transfer to the job? And let's see what it comes up with. Wow. It's giving us a whole learning transfer strategy with reinforcement activities. How is it that we can make sure that we promote transfer? Okay, these are adults in a good environment. How do I promote learning transfer from training workshop to back on the job? Nice. Encourage reflection, realistic examples and cases, set action plans, align training to performance goals. I love it. I love it. Use examples of successful application, build accountability. And I think they put up follow up and action plans. Yep, 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 yep. And actually, that's the big one that I was just looking for, right? Is number 8. So the involvement and the engagement of managers and leaders as well. So yeah, so this is pulling from some of the best and long-standing research that we have out there as far as how it is that we promote learning transfer within workplace learning and performance. So this is really quite amazing. So we can not only run the analyses, but then actually work with Claude in this particular case, large language models, in order to figure out what are the additional interventions that we do in order to improve the effectiveness of our training interventions, of our learning solutions. Yeah, that's really pretty incredible. So, yay cake.